There is a truth that both frightens and frees at the same time. No matter how much a person tries to prove their worth, none of it weighs on the divine scale. And this is profoundly counterintuitive, almost shocking for someone who spent a lifetime believing that salvation is a reward for the disciplined. The modern heart loves lists, metrics, and results. But God works with a different logic, one that disarms even the proudest. The controversy is simple. Every attempt to earn redemption is, in reality, a subtle attempt to replace grace with vanity. And in that game, no one wins. The deep and uncomfortable truth is that divine compassion does not depend on human performance. This sounds unfair to those who think they are strong and wonderful to those who are tired of carrying guilt. The more someone tries to save themselves through their own works, the more they sink into emptiness, because works were never a bridge to God. The children of the Most High do not need to improve to be loved. They are loved in order to be transformed. But if redemption does not depend on works, then what is their role? Deep down, everyone knows there is a vast difference between living to impress God and living in response to His love. And it is this difference that changes everything, redefining purpose, faith, and even the way a person sees themselves before the Creator. Many spend their lives trying to be good enough, while God already looks at them with a love that precedes any work. The prophet said that the Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed, reminding us that this gift comes from Him, not from us. When someone realizes this, the heart receives a rest that cannot be explained, only received. This compassion always arrives first, like a hand extended even before the cry for help. It awakens an ancient longing in the soul to be truly seen and loved. Jesus revealed this truth countless times, and in Matthew 9:36, it is written that He saw the weary crowds and had compassion, not because they were strong or exemplary, but because they were lost, trying to fill a void that no work could heal. There, grace was already in motion, inviting each person to be transformed by a love that does not demand perfection, only embraces. It is common for someone to try to prove themselves, stacking good works, performance, extreme discipline, small moral victories, as if salvation were a trophy. It is like trying to cross an abyss by throwing improvised planks, trusting one's own strength to build a bridge that never becomes complete. And Paul summarizes this human powerlessness when he declares in Ephesians 2:8 that by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. Divine compassion dismantles this hurry and offers something far deeper: freedom. Divine justice is like a light so intense that no human work can fully reflect it. It is here that many begin to perceive the contrast between purpose and performance, between longing and limitation, between wanting to be transformed and still stumbling. Romans 3:23 reminds us that all have sinned, showing that no one can present a flawless life as currency. This realization is not condemnation, it is liberation, because it removes the burden of trying to reach the unreachable. When someone tries to earn salvation, they unknowingly end up canceling the gift of grace, like refusing an embrace because they insist on paying for it. It is almost ironic, because the heart seeks rest, but the mind clings to the logic of effort. The result is exhaustion, frustration, and the recurring feeling of never being enough. Galatians 2:21 declares that if righteousness comes through the law, then Christ died for nothing, showing that performance was never the path. And it is precisely in this human failure that something greater begins to shine, something that awakens awe and hope, preparing the ground for a revelation that always arrives as a surprise. When someone realizes that salvation is not achieved but received, something profound shifts. It is like opening a window after years of breathing heavy air, allowing the light to reveal that grace was always there, silent and patient. Redemption does not come as a reward, it comes as a gift, surprising those who expected only judgment. Ephesians 2:9 affirms that salvation does not come from works, so that no one may boast, reminding us that the bridge between God and humanity is not built by effort, but by compassion. And when this truth settles in the heart, faith stops being pressure and becomes rest. Titus 3:5 reinforces this by saying that God saved us, not because of righteous works we had done, but according to His mercy. And little by little, guilt loses its place, giving way to gratitude that naturally blooms. When a person realizes that salvation is already complete, a new willingness is born to live, to love, and to serve without fear. Works stop being a burden and become an expression of gratitude. It's like dancing without fear of the rhythm, moved not by pressure, but by newly discovered freedom. A person transformed by grace finds purpose in service because they no longer need to prove anything. Ephesians 2:10 reminds us that we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, showing that works are a consequence, not a condition. And in this movement, love ceases to be an obligation and becomes a natural response. Small actions become extensions of the love received, helping someone on a difficult day, forgiving when retaliation would be easier, offering rest to someone carrying a weight heavier than they can explain. These attitudes do not seek attention, but reflect a heart full of gratitude. James 2:17 says that faith without works is dead, not as a demand, but as a reminder that true faith always breathes, always manifests, always moves like a bridge between grace and practice. With time, a person realizes that serving doesn't drain, it nourishes. It doesn't imprison, it expands the freedom already gained. Service becomes an expression of love, not a spiritual currency. Grace dismantles legalism, that habit of measuring worth by performance, and restores to the heart a love that doesn't demand, but sustains. Galatians 5:1 says that it is for freedom that Christ has set us free, reminding us that life with God is not a race, but a journey. And this journey begins to reveal purpose where before there was only effort. Colossians 3:15 emphasizes the peace of Christ ruling the heart, allowing a person to live with more fullness and less anxiety. And as this understanding matures, a new way of walking with God emerges, not driven by pressure, but by love. Life stops being a minefield and becomes a bridge to experience freedom, purpose, and salvation in a daily and practical way. In the end, everything comes down to a profound choice: to keep trying to prove yourself before God, or finally rest in the compassion He has already offered. Grace is not a temporary relief. It is an invitation to a transformed life, filled with purpose, freedom, and fullness. The question is, what is keeping you from living this redemption today? Pride, fear, the feeling of not being good enough, or perhaps the old habit of trying to control what only God can do? And what if, instead of carrying these burdens, you decided to apply what you learned here? Take simple steps. Set aside the weight of works as spiritual currency, embrace faith as rest, and live love as a response to the love you have received. How would your life change if you truly believed you don't need to earn what Christ has already earned for you? What relationships would be healed? What anxieties would dissolve? What purposes would begin to take shape? And before you go, do something that may seem small but makes all the difference. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way you keep moving forward on this journey, learning, growing, and discovering what it means to live a faith that does not rely on human effort, but on divine grace. You don't have to walk this path alone. You are invited to keep walking.